So I realised that as the native English speaker, we have produced the least words. Because I thought that would be easier, but I see that your English is all much better than ours and more comprehensive. So I've learned a lot about how things work in other countries. We don't have clearinghouses, neither do we have any coordinated approach to self-help. And we are the only organisation in England, and we're based in Nottingham. So when we were talking about collecting numbers, we have only the numbers from our local area that we support. So yesterday somebody said that print and directories are very out of date, and obviously we're in a kind of social media and technology. However, we print one of these every year, which has 280 groups in, and the demand for this when we went online from doctors was probably about 50% who wanted the hard copy. So we do that, and it's a very big tool in working with professionals that they have access to those groups in that way. Okay. So, let's reload. So we don't have national information, but what we are trying to do is support the UK. So we're supporting organisations that support self-help groups rather than supporting directly themselves. So our strapline, which I realise in translation is very clumsy, is that we innovate locally and replicate nationally. So to translate that, we invent locally and we copy it nationally. It doesn't translate very well. So, definition of self-help. As I said, we're using less words. We've come down to 3 words. This is really self-help groups rather than self-help as a philosophy. That they have these 3 qualities, which is equality, resonance, and that it's free. I think everybody would probably go along with that, and then most people have a sort of a more padded definition. So our changes, I mean, we, like everybody else, we have noticed a lot of changes with the impact of social media. I think in a wave of development of social media, we have found we've supported a lot of groups to go online, but there's been a sort of retraction from that because I think the weight of having moderators and so on. So I think there was a big flurry when first things came out, and then the kind of issues were realised, and I think there's been a bit of a back trend in that, and then online groups developing without coming into any contact with us. So one of our future lines of work is to be able to support better with our training, to have that online accessible to groups that we don't see face to face, but that we can deliver to those groups that just support each other online. We have done some collaboration with the university in research of online groups, which has been very interesting. That's all on our website if you're interested. So I'm sure these are across the board and that we're facing sort of the same challenges. Mental health, a lot of people have mentioned that. Age, we're all facing ageing populations, often people with more than one long-term health condition. Advocacy, there's a very big drive for patients, and I've heard a lot of people talk about that patient representation, that there's a big drive from governments to have patients involved. So some self-help groups are being looked to be the voice of the people. And I'm going to talk about the impact of self-care on the NHS. So in terms of national policy, so there is a drive and the government are taking note of self-help. We're also using the terms of self-care and self-management. They're becoming very popular, not so much self-help, but self-care and self-management. So for example, our government will fund a lot of programmes to do with self-care, so patient expert programmes, so things, for example, I'm going to translate just in case you don't use the same terms. For example, if somebody is diagnosed with diabetes, they will be offered a 4-week course to go on and to develop their expertise in their own care. Unfortunately, they're not then continued, and we're trying to come into those groups to then support those people to continue meeting. Yeah. So, but there is a lot of expert patient programmes around the main conditions: cancer, diabetes, we have a very high incidence of COPD, respiratory and breathing in our local area. So again, that's a very big local priority. So this is the structure where you have that has come, which is through NHS England, where you have the person at the centre of their care. The commissioning are funders. You've got your healthcare and care professionals, and then individuals and carers. And I'm just going to expand that a little bit. So I won't go through this, but you can see this. I've got this will all be sent out to you. We are funded by only by health, and we have been looking for many years to get some social funding as well, because obviously we support a lot of social, but we have only health funding as it stands at the moment. But we are pursuing that joined up. We support a lot of social care, but we don't have funding from that area. Okay, so that's me done. Was that quick enough or not? We're going to the bit. Any questions?
Yeah, when you say when you say cut in, when you say cut in after the group, professional group is, what do you mean by that?
We would like to come in at the end to say, and if you want to carry on, we can support you. So we would like to come in to
what this book contains?
So to support people to become a self-help group. So we would do our traditional support of these people meeting to support themselves. Of course,
in the group itself or outside the group?
No, we don't work like other people. We are never in the group. We are only ever invited, maybe if there's conflict, but we support through a key member. So we don't do that in the group.
Yeah. You wanted to say something?
Yes, please. I don't mean to be rude, but I'd just like to say one thing about a language thing, if that's okay. Is that okay? Yeah. So in England, and I don't know if that's the same in the States, but in England we don't anymore use the word handicap. This is seen as a very negative word, and if you were to use that in England, it would be very offensive. So we use words like disability, impaired, so on. So I mean, I'm not offended myself, but I just thought if you're speaking more nationally, the word handicap is quite offensive to those communities. So I just thought I'd tell you, because I've heard it used a lot. We all know what it means, but I've heard it used a lot.
If we speak nationally, we don't use English.
What I was trying to say is if you went to England, that would be considered quite offensive. So I just thought I'd tell you, I'm not offended. I'm not asking you to speak English. I was just saying that I think it's a point that it would be useful for people to know. Please use the words as you feel free. I'm not instructing you.
I just want to say that we have the same problem in our national languages. That is a kind of fashion, what is appropriate, what is politically correct. It changes in Germany every 2 years, like in Germany.
It's good to know that. I have a question concerning these online groups. Are they controlled by someone, or are they more courses, or are they really self-help people are talking, and then are there facilitators or some kind of?
So there's a combination. In our teams, we have worked with self-help groups that have wanted to become online. So we might have supported that transition. In that case, we will support them. Obviously, they have to have a moderator, but they are run and facilitated. You then have obviously the national online self-help support groups, or parts of their websites will be self-help or chat forums. But it would be useful for you to look at the research that was done in collaboration, because one of the things that came out was that there was a lot of issues around pharmaceutical companies coming in and pretending to be, people of that self-help group and so on. Thank you.